What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Today we are having a look at the brand new single match challenge difficulty available in Pirate Rumble, and of course with the introduction of the brand new Kizaru and Fujitora character, those are the highlighted characters in this challenge team. Remember that the challenge difficulty is very difficult, and they will typically use teams that are actually impossible to build with more SugoFest exclusives, and they have stated that these challenge difficulties do have increased stats than what you would normally have in the actual game, so they go out of their way to make it relatively difficult. And yeah, I mean, this one honestly is a lot easier compared to some of the ones that we've had in the past. So we have 4 separate teams for you guys in this video today, first of which is going to be my main DEX team that I do use in content, and this team just absolutely slaps it. You know, DEX characters have a really good type advantage against the quick teams. A lot of the times they'll have resistances against quick specials, and the really good thing about the DEX team is that they're very good offensively with characters like Luffy doing a lot of damage, Dalton hits hard, Moria can provide heaps of defense down and does serious damage, and then obviously Cat Viper and Dogstorm up against the quick enemies, you can do a lot of damage. Specifically, Cat Viper does a lot of damage naturally, Dogstorm only hits quick enemies. And then Doflamingo on the bench, so when or if someone goes down, Doflamingo is one of the best bench units in the game, does a lot of damage, and we've got just some DEX characters to round out the bench in this team. So I'll leave you guys with the rest of this clip, a pretty self-explanatory team. Obviously, you can replace some of the characters. If you got like Super Tight Lucci, the DEX one, he's going to fit very well on this team, but you know, there's a relatively decent amount of DEX units you could be running, but especially characters like Anniversary Luffy and the more recently released Pirate Rumble characters, you're gonna have a really good time, especially if you have like the Pell Pirate Rumble Rare Recruit, which unfortunately I haven't been able to pull yet. Works very, very well in this content. So I'll leave you guys with this clip and we'll pick things up when we get to the next team. Moving on now to my own personal side team. Now, honestly, this team also worked pretty well. The DEX team, I just, you know, had the team ready. Obviously, it's my own DEX team, and I went against the content and it beat it, and then when I recorded it, it beat it again straight away. And that's the exact same situation that I had with my side team. Had it ready to go, it beat it, I recorded, and then it beat it again. So I would say that the side team and the DEX team are probably the two best teams, or the most reliable teams to take on this particular challenge difficulty with. So Yamato and Odin are the two heavy damage dealers. Yamato with halving stats, so even if you don't kill them, you're able to reduce the enemy's attack, you're able to reduce the enemy's defenses, so the rest of your specials can hit harder. Just great allies here. We've got Wano Law to provide some really good buffs to our crew, providing some good CT increase, and considering a lot of the opposing characters are going to be Driven or Powerhouse, Wano Law provides the minus CT speed against them, which is going to help us out significantly. We're going to take less special damage, which is great. But another thing that's a really great asset to this team is the Luffy crew, because he actually provides really good healing over a certain amount of time. And that's one of the things that the side team kind of lacks. They don't have good healers. Well, they probably do, but they don't have healers that also can do good damage. And Luffy kind of fills that role really, really well. Obviously, you can have characters like Goldie, Roger, or the Germa crew, but Germa probably is going to be ideal against int-based content. But across the board, this was a really impressive team. I enjoyed using this one, and it worked pretty well. I'll leave you guys with this clip, and we'll pick things up once we get to the next team. The third team here is kind of surprising that it actually worked, because I was kind of concerned with the Cerebral team that we weren't going to have enough damage output to actually get the victory, but surprisingly we did. So that was actually really pleasant to see that, you know, despite the fact that the Cerebral team kind of lacks in offense, and it's not a really good team if you want to speed through lots of matches quickly, because typically the first half of a Rumble match, Cerebral are going to struggle in terms of outputting enough damage. They'll have a couple of decent hits, specifically Uta. She hits really hard. Shank can also hit relatively decently. You've got Kara and Wanda, which can help out, and then we've also got Cat Viper for some health cuts, but his CT is relatively high, and Chopper is a really nice asset too, because, you know, the quicker Kainu on their side of the field will apply a health cut and then also do damage, and then you got like Kaido, you got Magellan that can do, you know, defense down, then they do their damage. So it'll get to a point where, you know, you have actually not a lot of HP left, but luckily character specials such as Chopper and Kara and Wanda can provide some really good healing. That's one of the things that the Cerebral team does have. They've got relatively good bulkiness, they're very good defensively, but using them in an offensive sense can be hit or miss. But luckily we did get the job done this time around. We're able to knock out key components throughout the match, and of course one of the biggest things about Cerebral and why they will work so well is because Doflamingo on the bench. So even though they have relatively good healers with Chopper and Kara and Wanda, even if someone does go down, which ideally you do want someone to go down, you usually want one of your characters to be knocked out, you know, around the, you know, 30 to 40 second mark, so that Doflamingo can come in, so that when he does launch his special, he hits extremely hard. And if you get in the really good situation of Doflamingo targeting essentially the whole team, in a lot of cases, it's just going to straight up knock all of them out, especially if you have some of your other key pillars still there, like Uta or Shanks or someone like that, to give your Doflamingo even more statistical increases. That will help your team out significantly in getting the victory, with Doflamingo coming in late, doing so much damage, and likely getting a full wave clear against the opposing team. So this is the third team of the video, and we'll pick things up once we get to the final clip, which is kind of an interesting team, but very interesting one to talk about nonetheless. So now we're here at the final team of the video. Now this one was kind of interesting. I was kind of just going through some of my team squads and wondering which one I would want to use against this quick team. And I looked at the INT team and it had a couple of really interesting units, and this was not the original team that I was trialing out. I was trialing using Broggy on the main line, so having both Giants, Dory and Broggy on the main line, and having Versus Big Mom on the bench as the very last unit in the team, because if she comes in late game, she does really big damage. But the problem with that is that, you know, we had a legend on the bench as the last unit to come in. So I was wondering, you know, what kind of other INT powerhouse characters could we put on the front line that would kind of supplement the characters we have on the rest of the crew. So having Reiju is kind of an interesting choice because she does provide additional bulk to our INT characters. She's INT and powerhouse, so she'll receive a lot of the buffs from the rest of the crew. Specifically, Blackbeard does provide buffs to INT and also powerhouse separately. So if you have a character that is both INT and powerhouse, you'll receive both buffs from him, which includes like defensive and speed increases and stuff like that. Reiju is actually a pretty interesting choice because she does apply damage over time, and I feel like in these challenge difficulty content, damage over time is kind of underutilized, because the thing about it is, I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure the damage over time is a percentage of your health that gets cut. And the thing about it is that these characters in challenge difficulty have way more HP than normal, so it means that technically the damage over time percentage should be higher as well, which means that you're actually doing more damage with the damage over time. I'm not 100% sure if that is factual or not, but either way, Reiju is actually working out amazingly, and she actually gets the final KO through damage over time, which you guys will see in this clip. But of course, we got Yamato, who's a fantastic unit. Unfortunately, she goes down very, very quickly. Smoker and Dory, though, are the MVPs. These characters are applying special bind, and it is so key to this team being able to get the victory. There are a lot of cases where we're able to special bind some very key pillars on the opponent's side, like versus Akainu, basically didn't get to launch a special, which was so good. Dory on the front line is definitely the way to go, rather than Broggy. Broggy's better late game, come in and just get the sweeps, but if you have opposing enemies that can be special binded, then Dory and Smoker are going to be huge for this team in getting the victory. With all that being said, that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.